Hi, good evening, and welcome to the John Gaunt broadcast live. Starmer has got to get a grip on this hotel riot business. And also, are you fed up, like I am, of Brits being called far right? Because I don't think these ladies in this picture behind me tonight are far right. I think they're just right. They're women, they're mums who are concerned about their daughters, their children, and the government isn't doing enough to protect them. We have an absolute right to know where the migrant hotels are. We shouldn't have to be waiting. Oh, have you seen the hotel down the road? It's full of migrants. Because by doing that, it makes the tensions rise. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. So I make no apologies for having to talk about the hotels again. I think it's vital. Today or yesterday, the Deputy Prime Minister, Angela Rayner, who denied before that people's frustration was all about immigration, she went on and on about immigration's a great thing. I think what we're seeing now is that immigration can be a great thing as long as it's well managed and controlled. But it hasn't been for about 15 or 20 years. And the people who are bearing the brunt of this by not having jobs, wages being suppressed, and now these people living in the hotels or indeed living in houses that they should be getting, Angela, they are angry. And at last, it looks like the message is getting into her thick head. Starmer, as well, has warned the cabinet there's going to be riots this summer, like there were last summer after Southport and the dreadful atrocity there. So he's warned them, and then he's going on holiday. They're all having 6 weeks away. Well, not 6 weeks. You understand what I'm saying? He has to get a grip on this, or somebody does. Because last night, we saw the clearest example ever of two-tier policing and two-tier justice in this country. In Epping, the police, Essex, they allegedly brought in the Antifa mob. You know, the yobbos, they call themselves socialists. They're the ones who are always saying on Twitter or X, be kind. But then if you dare to say anything they don't agree with, they call you a see you next Tuesday and they start a pile-on. Anyway, Antifa came. The police, according to Nigel Farage, who wants the chief constable sacked, and if it's proved this is what he did, I want him sacked too. He alleges, Nigel, that basically the police marched these guys in. They say, no, it was like a football crowd. In this country, we have the right to protest, and I don't ever want to lose that, just like you should never lose the right to withdraw your labour. But the police are saying, we marched them in and we kept them away from each other. The allegation is, no, you marched them in and plonked them right next to these women. And I don't think the women are far right, but I do accept there will be some far right nut jobs, just like the far left nut jobs of Antifa, who are going for a punch up. But it would have been better to keep them separate, surely. But no, not only did they march them in, like the grand old Duke of York, the allegation is they bust them back out of the area. Why are people from London coming to go and shout, you fascists, your CNUNTs, all the rest of it, to these women, largely women, who are only protesting because one of their daughters, allegedly, and it's been in court, two of their daughters got sexually assaulted by a migrant who's still living in the bloody hotel. After Southport, the terrorism czar, and it's also in the inquiry, it's a fact, said that Starmer, by leaving an information vacuum, it contributed, it fueled the riots. But what we saw last night was two-tier policing and a two-tier media. That's what we've been seeing for days. They want to portray it as if these women are far right or almost sluts. They're not. They're mothers. They're concerned, desperately concerned about their children. And if I lived in their area, I would be very concerned as well. And the problem is, for Angela Rayner and Starmer, because they keep saying far right, and because the police that they employ nowadays, because the police are so woke and so leftist and so, let's put rainbow laces in, let's go skateboarding with Just Stop Oil, etc. We've now got cultural Marxists in all of our main institutions, in our schools, in the health service, and in the police, and probably in the army and the forces too. I'm not having a go at the boys and girls in blue on the front line. They're getting caught in between this, and they end up getting the bottles from both sides. Starmer needs to come out unequivocally and say, I understand that these people have got concerns. Angela Rayner is now saying, up north in the, what do they call it, the Red Wedge or whatever it's called, those cities that their Labour won to get elected, the Red Wall, that's what it is. She's saying they've got legitimate concerns. They haven't got jobs. They haven't got this. They've got deprivation. She is correct. But at last, she's saying, evidently, and said it in cabinet, that it's also because people are worried about immigration. Now, always before, we've been told, I've been called a racist for years. I've not got a racist bone in my bloody body. But it's so easy to scream, racist, racist, racist. And then the morons in the mainstream media, particularly the BBC, pick up on this. So then they portray it, if you're lucky, as left versus right. It's neither of those things. It's working class people having this dumped on them. They're the ones having these people put into their areas. Whether it's, and this is the bit you might not like, whether it's legal immigration or illegal, the numbers are just too much. Just too much, too soon. What needs to happen with all forms of immigration, it needs to be managed and controlled over a period of time. Because look at the England football team last night. Black people in it, white people in it, all working together. I've got an apology coming up on that, by the way, on female football. It'll be later in the show. Remind me if I don't do it. Get your comments in, though. Start writing your comments down there. But what they've done is they've tarred us all with the same brush, so that we become the problem. Anyone who dares to say, actually, this is a real problem. Illegal migrants raping or assaulting our children, our daughters, our mothers, our wives, our partners. It is a problem. Just like the Muslim, Pakistani or rape gangs, it is a problem. And I believe that the rape or sexual assault of a child comes above everything, including racism or allegations of it. But the British media and the British political establishment don't. And so last night we saw the clearest example of it with the police. The police should be policing without any form of prejudice. And they didn't do that. It didn't look like that to me. And the Essex Chief Constable, he's backtracking a bit now because a few of his superintendents or commanders on the ground said, yeah, we did take them in. And well done to GB News again for highlighting this. They definitely took them in. And it's not just now happening in Epping or in Essex. And it's not just Essex Police who are causing this problem. It's also happening, as you know, down in Canary Wharf, where that hotel, we were told yesterday, the rumour spread on the internet that the people from the Bell Hotel in Epping were going to be moved there. They're not. But then everyone goes, oh, that's good. See, it's the right wing again. It's the far right spreading malicious rumours. Well, no, not really. It's the Home Office lying. They're not putting people in from the Bell. They're bringing in beds for all the other people who are still arriving at Dover. Because fundamentally, we haven't broken that chain. But they want to blame you. Ordinary people, bringing up your families, go to work all the time, pay your bloody tax. Your government, and it wouldn't matter whether it was Labour or Tory, they hate you. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'm against violence. I'm absolutely condemn the violence, whether it's on the left or the right. But I do not condemn those women and those dads who are saying, we don't want somebody on bail living down the road from us. And of course, the big contract that they're going to bring up next is they're going to say, we've reduced the amount of hotel numbers. But that's because they're going to put them in homes of multiple occupation. And where are these homes? Large terrace houses in northern and Midland towns. It won't be where Keir Starmer lives. Do you follow what I'm saying? But again, they'll be playing Russian roulette with our females. So Epping is just the latest tinderbox and why people are getting angry. And Starmer, maybe, I don't know whether he's understood it, but I think Angela Rayner has at last understood that this isn't racism. That's too simplistic. This is people feeling put upon. These are decent, solid, working class people. The bloody people who created the Labour Party. The blooming people who support the Labour Party. The blooming people who built this country. The working class. That's who they're attacking. These people are traitors. And they want the rights of illegal migrants to come above you. I've had idiots today on Twitter saying they're not illegal. If they're seeking asylum, they're not illegal. Well, technically, they're correct. Because of the ECHR, if you actually apply for asylum, then you're not illegal. What a load of bollocks. We've got to change that. We've got to get out of the ECHR. I'm not saying every migrant who's coming in, even if they are coming in a dinghy, is a rapist or a terrorist. Of course they're not. But it has now to be controlled. It has to be managed. And I'll tell you something, Starmer has better understand that immigration, both legal and illegal, is the problem. You can't keep using the soundbite, immigration isn't the problem. Diversity is our strength. It patently isn't unless it's controlled and managed. So Starmer today or yesterday basically panics, arse cheeks are clapping, and tells them there's going to be riots. Then what does he do? He's off on holiday. Who is in charge? And I'm not a big fan of Angela Rayner, but she's right to say it's working class people who are being put upon. I've told you this before. We had it with the situation with Sarah's Law with paedophiles. They didn't want to tell us where the paedophiles are. Today, Starmer has said, okay, I'll tell Deliveroo and Uber which are the hotels. Forget about telling multinational companies, you pillock. Tell us, the British people who are paying for the bloody hotels. We have an absolute right to know, oh, that hotel in Dunchurch or in Warwick, it's now going to be for migrants, illegal migrants. They don't tell you. What they do is they take the signs down over a weekend and they move the people in. The local community doesn't get a say, and that builds a resentment. That's why there's going to be riots on the street, because people like you, Starmer, can't tell the truth. You're a liar, a liar, a liar. And so what's happened then because of that? Because of Southport, when you could have stopped those riots almost overnight by saying, he's not a new arrival. He's not a Muslim. We know who he is. We've arrested him. More will come out in the court case. Let the law do its job. No, you didn't. You left a vacuum. And as a result, yes, some people on the far right, because there were some far right people, obviously, just like the far left, filled that vacuum with misinformation. Likewise, if you'd actually sorted it, that would not have happened. And then you have the temerity to run away after putting your wreath down when local residents have a go at you, because that was the other lie. You said people were being bussed in and trained in from all over the country by far right. No, they weren't. It's coming out in the inquiry now. That was complete bullshit. You're taking us for mugs. Absolute mugs. And this has got to stop. You've got to rebuild the trust with the population, because otherwise this country will explode. I'm not saying that as a threat. I'm just saying that as an observation. It's just obvious to anybody. It's a bit obvious, like, are all those people who work for Deliveroo, are they on the fiddle? Of course they are. Everybody knew that. Any normal people know that. Just like most people are sensible enough to know that most of the people in the dinghies are not children, are not women. They're bloody fighting age men. It's got to stop, Starmer. You've got to get a grip. You shouldn't be going on holiday. You should be staying in this country and sorting this out. You should be getting the police chiefs in, because you know what's going to happen. It is going to kick off. It's already kicking off in Norfolk, kicked off in Canary Wharf. It's kicked off, obviously, in Epping. And I'm getting reports it's happening all over the country, and the press are suppressing it. You can't suppress freedom of information anymore. You can't, because of the internet, because of X, especially now that Elon Musk owns it. You're going to lose, Starmer. I think you've already lost the country. But you could say, right, I'm rolling up my sleeves, I'm staying, because you like doing that, don't you? And you could make one of your poxy videos, but instead, you've danced to GB News tune. You've raided today, Deliveroo and people like that. Too little, too late. Do you understand that, Sir Keir? Huh? So I blame the liberal woke leaders of the cops. I blame the woke within our society. I blame the people who call us racist when all we're saying is, look, we need to know who's in the country. Because as I keep saying, if you got Keir Starmer up against a wall and you had 80 people who have just got out of a dinghy, and you said to that liar, Sir Keir, can you name any of these 80? Do you know the background of any of these 80? He wouldn't. Just like he lied the other day when he said there's plenty of accommodation for these migrants. I don't think so. Have you seen the housing lists? Do you not have friends or people or relatives who have been on social housing lists forever? So you can see why I'm angry. They're taking us for mugs. And I say, well done to the women of Epping. It's often the women. It was the same with the paedophile thing. The women have enough, and they stand up and they stand their ground. And they are not far right. We are not far right. We're a tolerant country. We believe in multiracialism. We haven't got a problem with any of that. I've got a problem with the idea of multiculturalism, because I actually think people have got to fit in. They can keep lots of their aspects of their culture, but there are too many communities leading separate lives. And then they say, let's have an Islamophobia blasphemy law. Hold on a minute. Are you with me, or are you against me? If you like what I'm saying, please press the like button. 33 likes already. You clearly do like what I'm saying. Please share this link, get other people listening, and please donate to keep these going. www.buymeacoffee.com, and also you can just press the little $sign if you're watching it on YouTube at the moment. I spoke to an ex-Tory today. Well, he's still a Tory MP, 9 years he was in the government, and I'm going to play that out tomorrow afternoon. It's fascinating what he has to say about the internal struggles of the Tory party, the arguments. He says the only future for the Conservatives is to bring back Boris, but that's in my show tomorrow in the afternoon. It's one of my long-form interviews. I'm also tomorrow getting one in the can with Howard Cox, who's a big mates with Rupert Lowe and the other geezer, Ben, whatever his name is. So that'll be a good one to listen to next week. Right, let's get started. Nigel Gordon says, new police taxi service taken over from Uber. You're right. I found out, says Jackie Ward, that the country hotel a couple of villages away from me is full of migrants. Yeah, because they haven't told you, Jackie. That's what I'm saying. We should have full disclosure. There is nothing for them to do in a rural village, and the villagers are worried sick. Did I ever tell you my story about when I went to Tuscany to see my Italian friends? There was a load of them. They were obviously not Italian, black guys sitting on the curb And this village were right up in the Tuscan hills. Beautiful place, right? And I went back, I said to Barbara, who's our friend, our Italian friend, I said, what are those guys doing? What are they doing? Are they Italian? No, they're migrants. They're being put up in I said, what have they put them halfway up a bloody mountain for? You know, forest and olive glades everywhere. She said, because they're stupid. That's the political class, whether they're in this country or there. Italy's changing because they're getting tough. Greece is getting tough. We will deport you if you come to our country illegally, or we will put you in prison. Why can't Starmer say that? What is his problem? Is he trying to destroy our nation, the country that won 2 world wars? I'm sorry, I'm really going. I'm off on one. I wasn't going to go like this tonight, but I'm so angry about it. And we are not. Wait this. Alex Millington, evening, John. Slimy Starmer probably told Essex Police to put the lefty loonies in there to stir up the trouble so that he can then spout far-right thugs. I think you're right. I think you could be right. Because I think that's what he wants. He wants to stand there, be the big statesman, rub his hands together and say, we're not going to tolerate far-right thuggery, right? The Essex Chief Constable is already calling them far-right. Now, some of them probably are. Not these women. If you're watching on YouTube, the women behind me, they're not. They're just ordinary working class women. And they're not all white if you look at the picture. It just goes to show how corrupt our government and the police are, says Denise Deacon on Facebook. Makes you wonder how long this corruption has been going on. It's totally outrageous. Well, it's been going on ever since cultural Marxism was introduced into the country via Common Purpose and Tony Blair and Cherie Blair. It's been going on that long. They want us to be ashamed of our skin, ashamed of our culture, ashamed of our tradition, ashamed of our history. Well, I'm not. I'm bloody proud. I want to be told about the bad bits as well. Of course I do. Big apology coming up in a minute as well about the women's football team. I did watch the second half and the penalty, and it was just really entertaining. And I think I was being perhaps a little misogynist and sexist in my condemning it before. I'll talk more about it later. But a big man is a man who can apologise. Maybe one day Starmer will learn that. Paul Freeman, warning. Immigrants being moved, waiting arrival. Britannia International. And then he's got the address of it. Paul, they are different migrants. It isn't the ones who are coming out of the one in Epping. But even so. But you've got to put them somewhere because we haven't got proper rules in place, have we? Unbelievable. 37 likes, over 350 people watching live. Thank you very much indeed. Big numbers. Chopper MK50. The big irony is that those shouting fascists are the ones trying to stifle free speech. You're so right. The ones advocating restrictions on freedom of protest and the right to vote, and the ones advocating violence. Chopper, that is a brilliant contribution. You can give the pencils out at our next meeting. Drug-taking football thugs are far right. No middle class. Got the hump now. I don't understand any of that, Nigel. Please, Nigel, I'm going to bar you unless you start writing things that make logistical and grammatical sense. Read it before you press send, because it just disturbs my flow. Maggie Young, we need our media desperately at the moment to tell us the truth. Forget it, Maggie. They're part of the problem. They're part of that bubble. They're not going to tell you the truth. You're only going to get the truth from people like me and other people who are doing great shows on the internet and GB News. I think they're doing really well on this story. It's got to be said. But who is this Essex Chief Constable? And I don't know the facts completely, but if Farage is correct, they march them in and march them out or bust them out. He's got to go. He's got to go. We cannot have two-tier justice or two-tier policing in this country. They say they've arrested 10 people. They've already described them as far right. Did they not stop anybody on Antifa? Did you hear the things they were shouting? Nazi scum, filthy this, CUNTSs. To these women, these mums, these people are fascists. They're on the left, but they're fascists. Michaela Jane Houghton. I dare not go into my town centre on my own. Too many non-native people loitering. Well, see, some people would say that's racist, but I think I know where you're coming from. There's been a guy done now for paedophile behaviour in our Central Park. He's been released on bail, for goodness sake. Well, again, that's the problem. See, I had some idiot just before I started sent me a statistic saying the majority of paedophiles are white. Well, yeah, of course they are in the UK, because the majority skin colour population is white. You stupid, thick moron. I don't care what colour the skin is, mate. I don't care that when it comes to migrants either. You're the one who's bringing race into it. Look at yourself in the mirror, you racist scum. Bonnie Hurst. Everybody is far right if you don't agree with the government, and it's all going to kick off whether we like it or not. Well, I don't want it to kick off, Ronnie. He then says the irregular migrants are criminals. Well, they are by the very fact that they're in the country and they shouldn't be here. People keep saying, oh, they're not criminals. They're not illegal. They're asylum seekers. Oh, if they're real asylum seekers, why do they get rid of their passports? Why do they give a false name? Why do we have blokes with beards pretending to be 12 and then building bombs on their foster parents' table in the kitchen? Now, okay, that's a bit of it's not an exaggeration. That actually happened, of course, but not all of them are like that. I know. But if I was seeking refuge, I think I'd keep my passport. Wouldn't you? Greetings from Slovakia, says Andy Isaacs. Greetings to you, my friend. Thank you very much indeed. If you want to chuck a fiver in, we take foreign currency, what was it again? buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt, or press the little $sign. Come on, I've had no donations. Incredible amount of likes. That's really good as well. One of my oldest listeners, good Coventry girl she is, Emma Louise Bear. Evening, John. I'm listening in. Yeah, she's lost loads of weight as well. I tell you what, Emma, you're looking good, girl. You're looking good, and congratulations, because I know how difficult it is, and I know you've had problems with it. So well done. I've been watching you on Facebook in the nice way. I don't mean it in a pervy way, if you follow what I'm saying. Better to be far right than far wrong, says Will on YouTube. I like that one. Thank you very much indeed. Jake Morton Brown, old listener. As you said in your live interview the other day, integration has been replaced by diversity. Yeah. You see, what we should be saying is, what a lovely country we've got. What a great population. It's really integrated. Yeah, we've got Muslims, we've got Sikhs, Hindus, Jews, non-believers, Christians, white people, black people, blue people, pink people, and we all rub along and it's all going okay. And if anybody steps out of line and is racist, we'll have them. We don't have blasphemy laws because not everybody believes in religion. I don't believe in it. I think it's all a load of tosh, but I show respect to people who do. That's the British way, or it was. And dare I say this, until 9/11 and 7/7. And now it seems as if we're the population that caused that problem. I don't think so. I really don't think so. What about you? Anybody else brave enough to talk about that? William Small, spot on again, John. Starmer fiddling whilst the UK burns. Absolutely correct. William's on Facebook. Thank you, William. That's very kind of you. Where are we? Boris the Betrayer. No thanks. So that's because I was telling you this guy. I'm only telling you what he said. I didn't say I agreed with it. He said that Boris will. He said Boris is the only one who could take on Nigel Farage. And I think if you take your prejudice out of it for a minute, it's probably true. Because Nigel is some operator, isn't he? And Boris was. Boris knows how to talk to people. Excuse me a minute. Shall we carry on? Are you enjoying it? Put your hand in your pocket then. Paul Stretford. Is it? Where's it? He's not coming up. Hold on a minute. There he is. Every town centre is full of them. Feel sorry for our women and our children. Can I tell you something about that, Paul? I understand what you're saying, but I feel sorry for the migrants. that, there could be lots of decent people amongst them, but they're all being looked at by us in the same way. It's not good, is it? It's not good. Because I'm sure amongst them, there's loads of people who we could do with. We do need immigrants in our country. You do know that, because the birth rate is declining. And since Brexit, which I was in support of, a lot of the people who were here before have gone. They've also made it really difficult for anybody in an EU country to get in. My daughter works with a Portuguese guy. He's brilliant, this bloke. And he wants to bring in, I don't know, his girlfriend or his best mate, somebody anyway, who's really, really talented at what they do. They're jumping through every hoop in the book. I said, why don't you just tell him to come over in a raft? He said, no, he wants to do it above board. But he's getting penalised. I've got another friend who lives out in Thailand. He married a lass from the Philippines because he lived there before. He wants to bring her and her son, who's now his son because they got married and he adopted him. He can't get in the country. He's British. He's Yorkshire. He's a lad. He's a really nice bloke. But he can't bring his wife in. So effectively, he is out of the country. Never going to be allowed back as a Brit. That's not right, is it? Emma says, thank you, John, for your kind comments. I'm just a lovely bloke, Emma. I'm taking the mick. You deserve it. You've done bloody brilliantly. Well done. Pip Tomlinson, it's all the wrong way round. The police should be protecting the public from the migrants, not vice versa. Well said, my friend. Jake Morton Brown, you don't like this idea, do you guys, of Boris? Wait till you listen to the interview tomorrow. Boris's only skill is BSing the nation. Bullshit. His term as MPM was very disappointing, and that's not just including COVID. Well, I think COVID was a major problem for him. Let's be honest about that, Jake. But he did inspire the nation. He did get us going and get us thinking we could be a great country again. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. We are a great country. And we are a great country which has benefited from well-controlled, managed immigration. Of course it has. But you can't have a free-for-all. And I don't think it's racist to say the ones who are arriving at Dover, no. Come through the proper channels, not across the channel. Are you with me or against me? Pete Chambers, we need skilled immigrants, John, not sponges or criminals. That's all we seem to be getting. Look at the boats, etc. I don't see any budding doctors or lawyers on there. Well, I don't know, mate. I don't know. We don't know, do we? Because, that's what I did want to talk about. That's the other thing, like the hotels, not telling us which hotels they're going to use. This secrecy they use is very, very worrying. Let me just get rid of this. Hang on. Maggie Young says Boris should join Nigel. Well, that'd be a clash, wouldn't it? I can't see that happening, but I understand where you're coming from. Secrecy. We don't know who these people are. We don't know where they're going. We don't know which hotels are going to be used. We know nothing. They have kept us completely in the dark. Rudapakana killed 3 little girls, slaughtered them, and damaged many others. Serious injuries forever. And mental illness, right? We didn't get told about him till later. Starmer would have known within a day because MI5 would have told him. They found the terrorist manual and they also found the fact that he was definitely the guy who did it. Yeah. It's the same with the Manchester arena bombers. Did you know they were in Libya? They were working for us, or their dad was. We brought them back. The Royal Navy brought them back. And then they killed innocent children. It beggars belief. But we're the ones who can't be trusted because they believe that we're white, which we are, mostly, and therefore we're far right. So therefore, we're going to kick off, even though there's no evidence of it. They will kick off. There'll be white riot right on the street. The Clash, what a song. They think it'll be. It hasn't happened. But as sure as eggs is eggs, if he's not careful, he's promoting that kind of reaction. He has to get a grip. Are you with me or against me? And the secrecy needs to stop. How much are we spending? How much are we spending? Where's it going? How much are the hotels making? And on that same level, close the bloody hotels. Put them in warehouses like Patrick Christie's been showing us in France. Put them in tents, army tents. Treat them correctly. Treat them correctly. Process them correctly. And then F them off correctly. With me or again me? Come on. Starmer should be tried for treason, along with the vast majority of the Labour government. It's not just the Labour government, guys. It's the whole political establishment. Starmer doesn't have a brain cell, says Rosseth22. I'm not going to argue. I'm going to stop in a minute. 395 live, 47 likes. I think it's almost a record. And that's just here on YouTube, of course. If you want to push me over 400, comment now. Get involved. And then let me tell you something. I want you. Did you listen to my pre-recorded podcast yesterday about British pubs? That's the other thing that Starmer seemed... 401. Starmer seems to want to wreck the British pub. Well, I'll tell you why he wants to do that. Because that's a place where we could congregate and we could talk and we could say, I don't like this, I don't like that, I think this. And you think that? I think that as well. That's what used to happen. Doesn't happen in factories anymore because they've all gone. Do you understand what I mean? We're in shit street here, let me tell you. Or creek, without a paddle, he says, mixing his metaphors. And I think that's where they want us. They want us at home drinking cheap lager from the supermarkets, which is why they've never put the right tax on them. And they want us isolated, watching our Sky TVs or whatever it was. It wouldn't be Sky. We've all got, have we? Oh, lots of people have got fire sticks. You understand what I mean? But while you're doing that, it's like the opium of the masses, right? It's like religion used to be. You might be satisfied with the shit life you're having when actually we deserve so much more. I don't want my reward in heaven. I don't want me 72 virgins or whatever it is mad Muslims think they're going to get. I want it now. I want to live a good life, a peaceful life, a secure life, opportunities for my children and for your children. Don't you? Oh, dear. Gaunty is back, says Dirk. Thank you, Dirk. Another sensational episode. You're correct. Thank you. He didn't like getting thrown out of that pub. Oh, yeah, that was down in Devon, wasn't it, Pauline? That was brilliant. I think that's probably what it is. Could you imagine you're in the boozer and you're having a drink and he walks in? Huh? All the beer would go flat, wouldn't it? All the head would disappear. I understand. Whether you could get good head with Starmer, I don't know. Stop it. You're leading me astray. Now then, I'm finishing now. And I'm quite disappointed that nobody's bothered to contribute just a couple of quid here on YouTube. I'm working my little socks off. Or indeed, www.buymeacoffee.com // John Gaunt. Jake Morton Brown says, you mean cheap lager from Italy? Brackets, Edinburgh, wink, wink. Yes, Jake, you little smart ass. I was talking to somebody about that tweet today. That tweet had 800 and something thousand impressions when I was in Rosie's Village, and it was that Friday afternoon, it was blazing hot, and I had a pint of that. I can't remember what it's called. What's that lager? It's got a Spanish name, but it's not Spanish. It's brewed in Yorkshire. Anyway, so I took a picture of the lager in the lager glass and me. And, oh, man, the response. You should be drinking British ale. You should be shut up. And then, and then all the lefties, this woke brigade we were just talking about, they all started having a go at me. You're a flag shagger. What, you mean because I like our flag? I want to wrap myself in it and I want to support England, even if it's the women. Is that what you mean? What's wrong with that? I think our country's great, don't you? If you don't think it's great. Yeah, simple solution. Simple solution. Just, we don't want you. I'm not talking about people who've moved to the country. I'm talking about people who've lived here for all that time. Let me just say to you now, so I'm not going to put this one up on the screen, but you know who you are. I'm not going to read out that and give you any publicity whatsoever. Don't come on here doing funny names, which when I read them out, It sounds rude. I'm not doing it. So watch. Deleted. And now I've banned you. Don't mess me about. I do not need it. Let me just tell. Where am I going? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So he comes in. Your beer goes flat. You can't get a decent head when Starmer's around. Anyway, excuse me. Got a cough. Just have a glass of water. Wait a minute. Got to tell you about the ladies' football in a minute. I really have. What is that lager I was drinking, Jake? The Spanish one that's not Spanish. Jackie Ward says, Gaunty, you are on it tonight. I love it when you have fire in your belly. I've always got fire in my belly, Jackie. Just some nights you don't rile me up enough, but thank you for your compliment. Jackie Ward then sends me 3 hearts. Starmer was thrown out of a pub in Bristol, John. Yes, Ronnie, you are correct. Lee Robertson, John, I missed your rants on Talk. I listen to you every morning. Met you years ago at the Forum in Livingston. What, before I was on BBC London? All that time ago. Yeah, I ran the Forum. Yeah. They knocked it down. Their Forum is where they, train spotted the ravers and that all went. It was some venue, let me tell you. It was some time in my life as well. I really, really, really loved living in Edinburgh. I lived in Livingston, just outside Edinburgh. I loved living in Scotland. Scottish people are fantastic. Thank you, Maggie, for saying this. Rest in peace, Aussie. Yeah. Hasn't it been interesting today how everybody loves him? I was in the cafe earlier and there were 2 or 3 tables and the majority of the people today, well, apart from one, Louise, were all older than me. And all of them were saying, what a lovely bloke Aussie was. I said, you do know he was heavy metal and he used to bite the heads off bats. And they said, yeah, but he's lovely. Isn't it weird how some people are taken to the hearts of people? Pete Chambers says, I don't even have £1 in the bank, John. I would if I could. Listen, I'm not going to hold a gun to your head, especially when Denise Deacon's just done this. Denise Deacon's just sent me a super sticker, £4.99. Thank you, Denise. You do that on YouTube. You are superb. She says, I switched to YouTube so that I could donate. What a lovely person you are. Madri, says Jake Morton Brown. Yeah, that was the lager I was drinking. Or was it Crusacampo? I don't drink anything that's called camp. Apart from coffee. You're too young to know what that is, Jake. Anyway, there we are. We're finished. Before I go, though, I do want to say this. I'm going to put it up on Twitter later if I get a chance. But I'm pretty busy today. But I did just want to say this. I slagged off the women's football. I said it shouldn't be on the telly all the time and it's overkill and the standards aren't good enough and it's all political correctness. Well, some of that I stick with, right? But last night I was home alone. Mother-in-law had gone to bed. Wife was out. What was she last night? Oh, she was out with my daughter. So I put it on. The second half. And I know we were getting annihilated in the first half, but second half, we were the best team. And then we won. And it was proper sport because you just didn't know who was going to win. It's full of drama, tragedy, comedy. The comedy was the Italians crying. Wait till I speak to my Italian friends. But fair play to the Italians. No, they didn't have any fair play. They were cheaters, just like the men are. But at the end, it was nice that they all friends together. And what I liked about it was there wasn't too much histrionics. The Italians were, but not our team. And the thing I liked the most about our England team, and well done to the women, was they never gave up. I think there was 2 minutes to go, and we were going to be out of it. And then the young girl comes on from Arsenal, and that goal she scored, that was as good as any bloke. Did you not think that? The way she just composed herself, controlled herself, and smacked it into the net. She's some player. And when I learn to pronounce her name, I'll tell you what I mean. And then, of course, the other girl is always the hero. Chloe, is it? She scored the penalty. Well, she didn't. The Italian saved it. On the rebound, she's run in and she's whacked it in the net. The women last night just didn't give up, which I don't really know why I'm surprised. Watch out for the sexism coming now, the casual sexism, because women don't, do they? When women have decided they're going to do something, they're like, not like us fellas. They bloody do it. Sometimes we call that nagging, which I think is probably wrong. I think they've got more stickability. And, of course, women can multitask. As Joe Rivers used to say, why can't men multitask? She used to say, I need a man who can wipe a kitchen surface clean at the same time as, I won't say the next bit, but look it up. God, she was funny. But going back to the women's football team, I thought they were brilliant. It isn't the same standard as men. But actually, last night, it was so entertaining. It was like great drama. You didn't know how it was going to end. And I want to congratulate them. And yes, I will now be watching the football. And also, the women's football team made a point of stopping taking the knee. Kudos to them, says Chopper MK50. Yes, Chopper, that's a good point. Although I would say we should never have done that in the first place. And I would also say, whoever the racist thugs are that are directing that filth and racism at our black players, stop it. Or let's get you arrested. You're scum. You're not English if you're coming out with filth like that. You're just not. You're just not. Being English isn't about skin colour. That's why we've got some of the problems we've got now. It's about your belief, your passion. It's about this, your heart. And those women last night, they had tremendous heart. What's this? 9 used to love camp coffee sauce. Who's 9? Do you mean your nana? Don't know what you're on about. It's not a sauce, you idiot. It's a liquid, wasn't it? It's not even coffee. It's chicory, isn't it? Well, my dad used to love it with sterilised milk. Remember sterilised milk? I'm sorry. He's from Hull. Via Coventry. Right, I've finished. Thank you for a great show. I've really enjoyed it. I think that's the most we've ever had watching a live one. Please look at my other podcast. You'll find it on John Gaunt TV on YouTube, amongst other places. The one where I talked to Rick Cressman about, pubs, the demise of the British boozer and hospitality and the fact that young kids can't get jobs anymore. The Labour government are wrecking that as well. It's a great program. I'm not bullying myself up, but I think some of the things he says are good. And then I've interviewed this guy today, Kevin, who was an MP for 9 years, worked under Priti Patel as well. So he's got some great views, interesting views on immigration. I'll be putting that up tomorrow afternoon about 2ish, I think. But the first one has had such a great reaction, which is great for the... Can we call this a station? I don't think we can. But anyway, it's good for the reputation. Thank you very much indeed. Jake Morton Brown, you're getting a bit too clever for your own good. He said 9. No, as in German. I used to make a coffee with it. All right, then, fair enough. Thank you, Jake. And Maggie Young has given me the clap like she does every single claps. Symbol clap. On Facebook, Maggie, you're a superstar. Thank you so much for that. Right, I'm finished. 50 likes. Now, remember, if you've been listening on a podcast or on catch up, you can still press the like button on whichever platform you're watching or listening on. That's the best thing you can do for me. You can also retweet it, put it out there, tell people that Gaunty is back. Because I'm pretty confident, whether you like me or not, there isn't anybody else who's doing my style of broadcasting. So logically, we should get a massive audience eventually. Well, that's what I keep telling Lisa. So if you see her, tell her the same thing. He's brilliant. Your husband's brilliant. He won't believe you, but never mind. She doesn't listen anyway. All right, I'm finished. Thank you very much indeed. If you have got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug, and don't forget to keep telling them you love them. And can I just say once more, the ladies of Epping, I salute you. And the ladies of our football team last night, I salute you. I was wrong, and I apologise. Brilliant stuff. See you later.